Okay, and we are live. Welcome to So Get This, and I have a very special guest here today, Ms. Lindsey McKeon.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Thank you for joining us, and wow, we have a lot of stuff to cover. Wait, I always have this glitch on YouTube, so I have to pause it. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, you have a blog, and the web address is www.lindseymckeonblog.com.
Or healthysexymindfulliving.com. They both go there. I know it's a long name.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. I always went through the other link, but I'll also add that link into the description.
Oh, cool.
Too.
Thanks. They both go to the same place. So
awesome. You have a very powerful quote that is on the homepage of your blog, and it reads, "Adjusting my diet changed my health, sensual fitness changed my body, and altering my mind changed my world." What's the inspiration behind all of this? How did you get there?
Oh, dear God. It's been a lifelong process. So when I was really young, I was sick all the time. And in the hospital with terrible fevers, ear infections, on and on it went. The doctor wanted to, take out my tonsils. I don't know if it's remove your adenoids, put tubes in my ears, go that route. And my mom, thank goodness, was like, there has got to be another way than this. So cut to, I'm like 5.5. My stepdad comes into my life. And he is best friends with a guy named Dirk Benedict, an old actor, who healed himself of cancer by eating macrobiotically. So we introduced me to the macrobiotic diet. We take out all sugar, dairy, whatever. My whole world changes. I'm not in the hospital anymore. I'm a healthy girl. And if I get the common cold or an ear infection, my stepdad does this thing where it's like you rub your hands together and get them real hot, cup them over the ears, and sit there literally for friggin' half an hour while the ear infection drains out of your ears. If I had a fever, it was a tofu compress, just all these alternative type things that were sort of my foundation in young childhood. I grew up, of course, I got out of the house. Or even while I was in the house, I was an overweight girl with candy. I wasn't really overweight, but I would get candy at school. Or if my parents were gone, I'd go in their change drawer and I'd run to the ice cream truck real quick. And I always joked, it was like I was hiding Oreos under my clothing, trying to get what other people get, And so when I was 18 or whenever I was out of the house, I started eating shitty again, just because that's kind of what you do. You rebel against all the things you learn and try stuff out for yourself. So I did that for a while and then realized I actually felt better the other way. So reintroduced health back into my diet, but in a way that wasn't as strict as macrobiotics, because that takes so much commitment to cook for yourself, especially back then. But I got into I had acne and did Accutane, and none of these things worked for me. So I got into Chinese herbs, which then I saw a difference through that. I started eating organic. And then after all this food stuff, it was the spiritual journey for me. So, I grew up in the business. I grew up in Los Angeles. I had a lot of stuff available to me at a very young age. I, partied and did that whole thing. But after doing that for so long, you kind of wonder what else is out there. And it's not fulfilling, obviously. So I started my spiritual search and traveled to places like India and Bali and stayed in ashrams and became aware of myself and my mind and my programs and my habits and how to surrender those and become present in the moment. And through all of that, have just had amazing transformations and finding such amazing joy in my life. And the sensual stuff comes from my pole dancing at S Factor, which is so female supportive and empowering. And us being able to be our sensual creatures, whatever that means, it doesn't necessarily mean we're always like, I'm so bubbly, because that's not mine. Mine's super like, I'm the queen of the underworld and I'm like, rah, aggressive, you know, that's my sensual girl. I just think that's so important to embrace that part of ourselves, because we can be so shut down in our femininity and our sensuality in this world, or use it for inappropriate reasons.
Well, we're also taught that it's not appropriate
Correct.
to embrace that part of ourselves.
Correct.
Too.
Yeah. And America, especially. Yeah. I mean, you go to other countries like Brazil or whatever, and you see, you know, dance and movement, and their body and their sensuality is so a part of their everyday life.
Yeah.
And people aren't afraid of it. Here in America, because it's been so squashed down, if you start showing that, people are afraid of it. Or, you know, women judge each other and attack each other because of it. And it's like, dude, we need to support each other. We have enough people against us. Us women need to support each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you mentioned that you had taken a spiritual journey by traveling to exotic places like Bali. It brings me to my other question for you, where, you know, your latest post talks about how you had this epiphany about letting go and trusting where nature pulls you. And, you know,
how did such a process?
Yeah, I mean, because you mentioned, you know, when you went on that spiritual journey initially, that's how you became self-aware. And when I originally wrote this question for you, I was thinking to myself, it is so damn hard to be self-aware. I mean, for you to get to that place in the, you know, at all is amazing. So how did you get there and, you know, like just have it expand the way it did?
My God, it honestly, it is a daily, momentary process and practice. If it's something you're committed to, there's obviously so many books you can read or classes you can take. Or one of my almost like fail-safe things in the beginning was, if you're trying to find like presence or trying to switch habits in your life, the trick you kind of do is like, whatever you would do naturally, do the opposite. Whatever that little voice inside of you says, like, oh, now I'm going to do this, just do the complete opposite. And you'll automatically see an easy change in that. And the more you do that and you get out of like this auto-habited brain that friggin' runs your life, now you'll become a clearer channel for nature to begin talking through you. And you'll be able to truly hear like what nature is inspiring instead of what your mind is telling you and fearing, telling you not to do.
That's a very good point, because we were such creatures of habit that once we establish a habit, we can't dig ourselves out of it without a really tremendous effort. And
yeah,
like,
I mean, something as silly as like, I see when I go to an airport bathroom and I find one that's good, like I'll go to that same stall every time. And it's something so silly, like go in a different stall. Like it's not that difficult to try something new.
That's a good exercise. I should actually
try. As stupid as that, you know? Something like, ooh, I'm driving in my car and I'm scared of like the other guy seeing me singing to music. So instead of turning away and shutting down, I'm going to sing louder and like look at them and give them a smile. You know, like just ridiculous little things like that on a daily basis will help change your life in a big way.
You know, I'm going to try the singing out loud thing too. I have a road trip coming up to Pittsburgh. I'm working PittsCon next month, and I'm bringing my 14-year-old son with me. He'll never speak to me again.
He will never speak to you again. He'll be so embarrassed, but hey, mom will be free, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
And then he'll learn that.
I hope so. Also in your writing, what I noticed is the voice that you use. You write from a space that pulls all of these different possibilities out into the open, and the tone, it takes on something akin to a guided meditation. That's exactly how I felt as I read through all of your posts. It wasn't just one particular post. It's your style. How did you find that voice?
Well, first of all, I so appreciate you saying that and acknowledging that and feeling that, because I don't actually write with that intention in mind. But like, if you're not doing something that's affecting change and altering people, then what is it for? A movie, and anything. That is the greatest depth that you can be at, and that's what I'm interested in. So my God, I'm grateful that you even can feel that. Writing for me at such a young age was something that I was like good at. But as I've cultivated this space and this way of life within me, it's more like I can get out of the way, and God, nature, universe, whatever you want to call it, can speak through me. And then once that happens, then I can make edits and go in, but it's not, it's almost like it's not me. It's like the truest thing that's here in this world can speak. And that's always the greatest step. So that's going to take you to a dive within yourself.
It's intent literally just flowing through you, basically.
Totally.
That's how I'm interpreting that.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly powerful, because I also write a blog, and I aspire to one day be able to get a voice that powerful and coherent and can deliver my intent exactly what it was meant to be.
Well, look, first you have to like get quiet enough to figure out what your true intent is, right? And feel like your heart and spirit enough to know what that is. And then you have to be willing enough to like let that speak, and not have your mind and your intellect come in and say, ooh, I think it should be this way. It would sound better like this. This word would be more effective. So it's a process of figuring out, and then a big process of trust.
That's hard. That takes a lot of discipline.
It's a disciplined life, but my God, it's better.
It sounds like it. It really does. It just sounds like it's a lot more fulfilling.
It's more fulfilling. Like, not that there's a better or a worse. Like, everybody's, learning what they need to learn. But for me to have eyes wide open and have a depth and a meaning and a purpose makes the reality and the harshness of this world that much more interesting and enticing for me.
Wow, that's very cool. We're going to switch gears a bit, and we're going to
Not as cool as your hair.
Thank you. I went natural.
Yes, you did.
It's so funny because you saw my daughter's hair, right? The blonde streaks were actually, she had like hot pink, and it eventually faded.
So fun.
So I said to her, why don't we pick another color? And she goes, no, Mommy, I want to go back to brown.
Oh.
I said, okay, so you're maturing and I'm regressing. This is really an interesting dynamic. She's like, no, I want brown again. I don't want anything crazy. And I'm like, I need to do something more than this. So I think I'm going to put polka dots in my hair next.
Like, I'm not done exploring yet. So
exactly. Yeah. So you got a very diverse acting background. You've done things like Saved by the Bell, The New Class. You've been on a soap opera, Guiding Light. You've done appearances on shows like House and Supernatural. Do you have a favorite genre that you like to perform in?
No, honestly, I don't. I find meaning in anything I do. So there's not necessarily a favorite. I do say that Tessa is one of my favorite characters because she's from another world, she's from another realm, and comes into this world and hopefully gives it some information you know, about what she experiences on the other side and why the rules are the way that they are, and hopefully show some importance to life and death and how this world goes and how order goes. So to me, that's very fun because obviously all of the spiritual work that I've done and all of the books that I read about the other side, I get to put that into my character and, you know, hopefully have people be affected by it. That's the biggest thing. The other thing is I just played a character, and this is a pilot, so we're waiting to see if it gets picked up and comes out, where I get to be a bartender in Los Angeles. So it's like all the craziness that I grew up with. And I get to be like a Joan Jett punk kind of girl with faux hawks and chokers and just like say fuck every other word. Sorry, my daughter, but I'm sure she's heard it.
No, the mother, trust me, she's heard it.
That was so much fun for me, that character.
Oh, are you allowed to say what it's called? Or
it's called Confessions of a Hollywood Bartender. Okay. And we'll see what happens. We're waiting to see.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Thank
that was
you.
Epic.
Thank you.
Oh my God, if you're allowed to post pictures.
I have posted some pictures actually.
Oh, okay.
While I was doing it. There are a couple, I think, on Instagram.
Oh, okay. I haven't been on Instagram in a bit, but I will check.
That's okay. It was a while ago that I posted them anyway.
Punked out Lindsey.
Yes.
So what you were saying earlier is that you've done a lot of reading about what the possibilities are after, you know, the afterlife. Mm. So you tied that in when you were crafting Tessa's backstory?
I don't think I intellectually tied it in while I was I wasn't really doing a backstory, but I think that that's just something that's already in me and learned and experienced. So I bring that to my character because it's something that I already have in my reservoir, whatever you want to call it.
It was really interesting to see the character development over the span of all of the episodes that Tessa appeared in. And
every time I grew, they would call me and I'd go back and share what I've newly learned. It was so crazy.
It was amazing. It really was. What would you say your favorite personality trait is of Tessa's?
Oh, her determination and her feistiness.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But, you know, you picked up on exactly what I did when, I don't know if you've seen it. You might have seen it. I have a piece. I have to make another one because I ran out of the material to make another one, but I made a Tessa-inspired necklace, and it was called Commitment. It was her sense of commitment that stood out to me. You know, Tessa was about, you know, this is the order of things. This is the way it works. And this is my job, and I'm damn good at it, and this is how it's going to be. Very strong character. Did the revelation that Reapers were actually angels change anything in the way that you portrayed her?
I can't fully remember, but I don't think so, because it had been so long since the last time I was there. Yeah. And I feel like I don't think so. I feel like Reapers and angels are both on the other side. You know, we can't see them, really know where they are. So to us, they're just on the other side. They're in a different dimension. But they're both helping along us for certain particular reasons. So I don't see one as better or worse than the other. I see that they're both serving their purpose. So for that, I don't think that I played it intellectually any different.
Okay. It seems
if I had, it might have been like, ooh, Reaper's supposed to be more evil, or, you know, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that's something we might think, because we don't know where we go after death or why it's really important yet.
The way you portrayed Tessa, it was a very deep giving, caring, guiding kind of a role.
Right.
When she was bringing, someone to the next step, it was, almost like a counselor, like a caretaker, a nurturing.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost more of like, almost motherly in a sense of, I know what's best for you. I'm here to guide you. That's my job and my journey. And I understand you're going to act out. And I totally have room for that. However, these are the rules that need to be followed.
Very, very true. Very true. That just stood out to me so much, especially in the episode where Dean took on Death's role and you were kind of just slammed with him and had to make sure you didn't screw up too badly.
That was a fun one.
To have a character like that stand up to Dean Winchester was amazing.
That's what I love about her.
Right? She didn't give a shit.
They're such a fun little duo.
It was great. It was so great. And when he screwed up, and we knew that was going to happen. When he screwed up, you didn't rub it in his face. You just stood back like, all right, you know what? See?
Yep. Cause and effect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what would you say your dream role is?
I don't know if I have a dream role in mind. Maybe something like Lucy movie, or like something like that character, and that teaching that awareness that movie to me taught. And then a world like Mad Max and The Matrix mixed together.
Like a post-apocalyptic kind of.
Yes. Fuck yes, girl. Some like sci-fi post-apocalyptic. I'm on the edge of saving humanity and fighting bad guys and teaching people to wake up from the sleep of their minds, and that it's all just mathematics. It's all just a video game, guys. Wake the fuck up.
It sounds like you just wrote the perfect screenplay.
Maybe I need to, right? Since it's not for me yet.
I've never heard the two being connected.
Crossed.
That's epic.
That's
we have
me.
We have a
weird dichotomy.
I'm sorry?
I said, that's me, the weird dichotomy. Somebody told me, they're like, you're like Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie in one. I was like, yeah, that kind of sums it up.
Brad Pitt's dream.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so now here comes the goofy question I have to ask all my guests. All right, so you're on a stranded island, right? And you're only allowed one supernatural character as company. Yeah. And there's also this is a new addition to the question.
Okay.
People are always saying, I want Castiel because he could beam me out of there. No. There's a force field around the island. Any creature, whatever powers they have, are completely negated because, now they're rendered human. So who would you choose to be stranded with and why?
Well, I mean, wouldn't most people choose to be stranded with Jensen?
Oh, yes. I've gotten some pretty strange answers. I'm trying to recall some of them, but that Jensen's my answer.
I know, right? I mean, if you have to be stranded with someone, hello.
Right?
And, however, I think he could probably be very resourceful.
That's true. I mean, he built an EMF detector out of the cassette player, so
there you go.
What he could do.
I could just rest and lay out and enjoy the sun, and he could work.
Oh, he could work. Watch him work. That's the.
There you go. I could watch him work.
We're gonna go climb up that tree. Yeah. Okay.
Entertainment. Grab me a coconut.
Who needs TV?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so finish this statement. All you need is.
Oh God. Love or peace? I don't know. Like peace of mind. I don't know if it's just one thing that you need.
It's probably not.
And it's ever changing, right?
But peace of mind is an answer I've not yet gotten.
Peace of mind is huge. I think if you had that, nothing else would really matter.
It wouldn't.
But love is so important too. But even if you have love, then what about having a dream or inspiration? If you have a dream and you don't have peace, then, you know, what's it all for?
True. That's true. I mean, peace of mind, it sounds like that needs to be the root of everything before anything else. You should have peace of mind.
It's huge, especially in the world today.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there's shootings going on and this going on and the news telling you this. It's like, oh dear.
Horror story after horror story.
Horror
days alone. I mean, it's been nightmarish. And, you know, it's hard. You know, my kids watch the news and they'll ask me, why is this happening? You know, even, you know, like that poor 2-year-old boy in Florida. I don't know if you heard about that. You know, just things like that, senseless things. And, you know,
what's so crazy, if you see, like, you see it happening with the gay community in Florida, 50 of them being killed by a Muslim or whatever. But then you also see it happening like with a little boy and a gator. So to me, it shows that it's more of a like unrest or frequency in our entire world than just one thing, one community happening. It's happening all across the board. It's happening with fucking animals. So that's got to say something about either like the frequency we're resonating on, and the fear, anxiety, angst, anger that we're living in, and is it possibly this like earthquake chafing before this new evolved world can come about?
Oh, that's an interesting.
And that's sort of my take on it. It's like how much we have to have all of this, like the craziest things to see in front of us before we can wake up to an even grander level and scale.
And also, too, there's not much of a balance in what we're exposed to as far as, you know, news is concerned, for example.
Right, like happy news, yeah?
Exactly. I mean, we hear about these horrible, horrible events, but
but there's so much good happening too. We're just not highlighting it. You have to search for it, unfortunately, which is why I don't watch the news. I mean, I hear about enough things through people.
Yeah.
Just having the radio on or whatever, but I won't sit there and watch it because it is such, their sell is a fear tactic. Just like,
oh, absolutely,
you know, commercials, and it's all a fear tactic to get you to watch or to buy whatever they're selling. It works, right? So I try and keep that away and at bay as much as I can and look for the good stuff that's happening and see the good. And then guess what? Good shows up.
It does. And you don't have to look too hard either.
You don't.
You know, I try to limit the news. My daughter is obsessed with the weather, so she'll always put the news on just to watch the weather report for whatever reason.
That is hilarious.
Oh,
tell her there's a weather app on the phone.
He lives on my phone. She keeps taking it from me. Oh my God, Mom, is that a weather alert? Oh my God. And, you know, she loves severe weather. We had severe thunderstorms yesterday. She was in heaven. She was just like, oh, this is the best. This is the best. But, you know, what I was going to say is I gave up pretty much on the news, I think, when CNN had done that big coverage of Anna Nicole. And I don't know if you remember that debacle when Anna Nicole Smith died. CNN, who up until that time I thought was a very reputable, serious news channel, it was as if nothing else in the world was happening. Anna Nicole Smith died, and it was a 24-hour coverage for days. And I said, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I get it. They're having to compete with all the other stations and ratings and numbers, and like But it's all big business. It's not truthful. I mean, you even step outside of America and you see their news or see what, they're saying about America, and you realize, holy crap, like, we're under a little bubble here, and they're definitely only showing us what they want to show us. And it's not all that truthful.
Right.
It's partial truth. And there was a movie that came out about CNN last year that I watched when, is it Don Rather, what was his name? Rathers, something like that. But that was like the last of real news coverage before, big business started coming in and saying, you have to get the numbers, you have to sort of sell out, and it has to become a fear tactic. That movie was really great and really showed the underbelly of what has happened to our television stations.
What movie was this again?
I don't know what it's called.
I'll look at it. I'll try to.
I think Kate Blanchard was in it.
Oh, okay.
I'll try and look it up right now.
Yeah, because I would love to see, because, news used to be true journalism.
Right, correct.
And now it's just like Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
With weather reports.
Right.
And traffic. But, yeah.
That's just our world. Truth? It's called Truth.
Oh, well, that's appropriate. I'm going to look that up. And it looks like...
With Robert Redford as Dan Rather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The only comment we have in the chat room right now is Nicole saying hi to you. Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
She is a dear friend. She's a friend of one of my high school friends. She's the niece of one of my high school friends.
Oh, awesome.
I found that out by accident. We kind of connected by accident. So, good to see you, Nicole. Do you have any final words of wisdom for us?
Oh, dear God. That's
Isn't that a question?
Words of wisdom. Just get back on track and make it a point to enjoy yourself at every moment. And when you forget, make that your commitment again.
Love it. Love it. We always have to be strong, and it's very easy to keep going on the downslide once we've done it instead of just right back up on that horse. Forgive the trite expression, but it's true.
It's true, 100%. It's a workout every day for your brain. You take the gym every day.
My brain hurts. My brain's been doing too many crunches lately. But I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
With us this afternoon, and it was absolutely lovely talking to you, and I hope that you'll come back and hang out again.
Definitely.
Okay, well, thank you all for watching.
Thanks, guys.
And we will be back next week, and you will be able to watch this interview recorded, and I will also add the additional link to Lindsey's blog. Her current link's in there, and there's another way of getting in, and it's a Batcave route, I guess. I'll put that in there.
Perfect.
And so thank you.
Thanks so much, darling. Great to see you again.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, everyone.